Hi guys, and welcome back to another video on wrestling review Daniel. This is our NXT review from last night. So as you know, I see NXT title tournament or done match qualifications. The title has all last night. A few interesting decisions throughout the course of the throughout the course of the night. I actually enjoyed this show. It was a lot more action packed than what Raw was, and it'll reflect very and it'll reflect better in the finals war, but we start things off in Ava's office, and she's speaking to security, or others to own who's effectively become her as a there is more and she's and she basically it says to the security and putting you on or the red dog and put you on the red dog yeah putting you on the red dog what Tony D'Angelo did to has to it is unacceptable. But keep an eye out and report back to me once you've escorted them out of the building. She says to the security, you never see any of these get-ups throughout the rest of the night, or even to Ava Cole, and then the easily are on, but we'll get to that, and we'll get to that in a second. So we start off in the wrestle in action with Elio, a fellow who is a French luchador, they conveniently have the Eiffel Tower up in the video wall during his entrance, in case you couldn't tell by his accent. Guys, this is his debut match, and it's for the NXT North American Championship. It did, it did its part is in like showcasing a Phil who is a high Phil higher. He had a spell in Triple A as November or the November just to and whatever you want to say. And yeah, it's very cool here. He's going to be very popular, very similar sort of here to Dragon Yi, and similar sort of moves. As well, very good to lots of Hurricane runners. He hit a Spanish for Iron Ethan hit the Eagles head, and then he to win Ethan pats him in the head. There's a way to patcher in the eyes him, but LaFleur would turn return the favour and uh, on Ethan still holds the Ethan still holds the Triple A um, um, X Tag Team Championship with Chelsea. Irene, who's been enjoying herself on the UK portion of the road to the WrestleMania, or as I'm sure some of you already seen. I know Sean's ecstatic that she's apparently Chelsea fan, so yeah, apparently her father who was born in England together up a Chelsea fan, and she th- that's how she started following the club. So just a wee bit of added context here for Sean. So yeah, this match I thought was a good match. So a film, where a film where actually kicks out of the was Ethan gets a bit desperate and he goes for a power like towards the end of the match. It's a very weak looking power bomb, so he had to do a tight cover. He holds a tight so it's a or really finish 1, 2, 3. Ethan still holds the NXT North American Championship complete with Canadian Murray. Yeah, he's still got the Canadian flag wrapped around the belt. Um, I can completely see why people thought that Elio LaFleur, was the one to dethrone him, but at the same point, guys, it's his debut match, and you don't typically win, you don't typically win major titles in your first try. So yeah, unless you're the like showed debut as a giant in WCW, but that went down like a lead balloon. And to be honest, of course, there was a lot of shady backstage politics even back in the 95 in WCW, but we won't get into that. And the back, you see, Uka and Zari are having a conversation. She said, hey, know, yeah, after the beatdown and stuff, I was saying, Zari, I was like, here are you, we've got here are, here we hear you during the beatdown, because obviously the areas are, it, and so also like let me take the heavier load and if it's too much on your arm. Um, but yeah, but yeah, Zaria's quite dismissive, and she says, oh, it's just focus on becoming number 1 contenders for the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Um, s- so then we get a nice um we get a nice backstage then we get a nice backstage segment of NXT's newest major here, Iano Arthur, who I have in the past called a budget over for Emmy, but like they've done a good job here in this episode at kinda distancing himself from that comparison. He's more anti-establishment horror. But before we get into all the backstage stuff, from the his argument with Booker T on LF3 that went viral. Um, obviously, obviously Booker T's far from encouraging that he's now a full timer on the NXT main roster. Actual also Joseph did a tremendous job during the segment. He hyped up the fact that Harvard was part of the breakout tournament for the NXT. Asked him here if you remember that, but he's also been on here and Evolve. So it seems it's like you publicly holding them back, and they've kind of developed that into a character. Or he would then but Argent to he would then but Argent to Shawn Michaels' office saying he refuses to do a sit down interview with but coward. Um, but yeah, but yeah, so it's cool. You're, but Shawn Michaels says you're doing it interview, so it's cool. You're this guy who's problems with authority. And he does an interview with Harold. Says he refuses He says he refuses to add, he refuses to answer any of Harold's questions, etc. I forgot to add, after or even pages like whatever, like, you see, ain't, actually said good job, champion, good job, champ and stuff like that. You go on the roll acts, and then the two who seem to body, but are they anyway? Saints was out here for the next month match on the card to draw Oshiba or exhibit sees Shiloh will hold this match again is pretty competitive, although I couldn't help but notice Kurt he kinda buried Josh Briggs on commentary. He said, how many more chances has Josh Briggs Eggs couldn't get. He needs to get the victory in I etc. I was basically getting on George Briggs and the film Hatch. So all's not rosy in the garden with of Josh or I think I think he could be more and then the cuts around or WrestleMania because he actually did acknowledge that on commentary as well that it's WrestleMania that was usually like us after our WrestleMania so that uh, so that was acknowledged on commentary um it contest here shy or house got some good offense and very unique offense. He hits some high impact stuff, and he gets beaten down. He does the Hulk Hogan Hulk up kind of momentum thing. Um, so Josh like goes for the insult deep into the match, but Shiloh was out the way, and Shiloh how like um hits another net break, but this was the more standard break to the spinning net break or the L on he gets the victory and he doesn't really have time to celebrate because Tony D'Angelo comes out and he destroys him. Um, he destroys him. He also destroys Josh or exits on hell. He gets the chorus of ooze. But as I've said before, this is very reminiscent to AJ Styles and TNA and late 2012, early 2012. He after the whole double or cool it was the whole double or cool it was the kill hero and storyline and then the version study to move arid attack of heels and face is you could also add in the roasting gimmick from WCW into that so it's very cool. Yeah, he doesn't have his family anymore. He doesn't have so it doesn't have the acts and he's corner. So this is a very different Tony D'Angelo and a very badass version. In the back, you see Ava and Elio, a film. They're having a conversation such as as a reactions on your defeat, but you've shown enough of you have shown enough of that you belong here. Here she says to Elio, you'll film your good job, and I'm sure you'll be a champion in no time. Then you get, Miles, but and or you see, ain't having the um having the discussion, having discussion and say, and Miles all naturally says to say, ain't have the things to get some down. On, I'm going to all five for the year. I'm good on the qualify for the Adam match in February the 3rd. Um, and the and then I'm gonna become NXT champion. Ethan Page actually hypes in, and he says, well, that depends on what version of Miles, but on you see, obviously hinting at the heel again. Um, so yeah, so that be is interesting. You uh yeah, actually um because he's facing Dion Enox from the dark. You get a backstage or a room segment of the Arcs Atlas before on into respo on into Miles but on L L held on in the show they basically him I was born won't see us coming with and asked it's strike nobody is safe and Dion and Dion you do what you have to do. So so he's getting psyched up on this too. He, um, so then we get a very passionate Jada Parker, a promo. She talks about management and saying that she needs to smile on and talk on his etc. She talks about this stuff and after the women's division being so high so high etc. Then you get the interruption from Bella Aikman in the role after the as I won't let anybody do a spotlight. So you get so you could get a dark enough there, with Bob Aikman roll up on the power form but of the performance entering then the spotlight appears and she standing here and she says, Audrey, my you this was just I never heard the spotlight is on, it's always on the cover. This is what you get for interrupting. Yeah, and you will talk Jada or on that as only Jada Parker can. She's ready for Butler Aikman in the role she said. didn't I drop you last week so that Veronica isn't often this could finally elevate Jada Parker as a more prominent feature. She's been in and out of uh, um, she's been she's been in and out of the higher upper echelon of the women's division, and yeah, I think that will elevate her because in her role as the international recognised she'd even done acting for some ITV2 shows, guys. He over here, and she's sold all over the world for the likes of Pakistan and Game Changer Pro and CCW, AEW, all these different promotions around to the world. Um, she's got a successful youth. She's got a successful YouTube channel, Discord server, and she's also got a successful Twitch channel. So it's very obvious that Bill Ake is obviously multifaceted. And you've got Jada Parker and the other hand, who's a former under 17 women's US US national in football or soccer. Here from American from a American viewers, but yeah. So yeah, interesting background. Jada's obviously put her order to the next in line program that tries to encourage other athletes from other sports into the performance center. So is like Jada's kinda like the poster girl for that, her and Kehlani Jordan, and I think all of the aces all came through that program. Same if Oprah for Emmy, he was into a shop or events, etc. So that's the kind of background of the external program. Um, in the back you see Eva and Stone. They talk to all advice and all advice session on Saturday next to eat for the NXT of American Championship. She owns a victory over Izzy and she reminds Eva of that. Yeah, Hale then comes in and she says, wait a minute, Eva, I've got a rematch. Was all of Ice says just because you gave out an can challenge and or that doesn't mean to say you can jump j jump the line I'll never tell you the art of trouble and you were lying about losing. Eva says that that's enough. I know better. This is going up be a triple threat match. You get to get to and as it the aim of all compete in a triple threat match for the NXT men's of American championship. You see a play a promo of the going in backstage. You see a pre-tape of the going backstage and it's as it talking about how the going was created and was created for her to win the NXT Women's North American Championship and for the count to dominate NXT. She says to Sean years until equal advance you two will have the perfect opportunity to over the NXT tag in championships of advanced years save for Oscar able but are very proud of you as if it were eight till dark and OT destroy each other for us to take the for us to take the tag titles. So yeah, that's a good promo. You get back to Ava's office and she basically announces Tatum Axel is on suspension as a result of her head button the referee last week. So it's good that there's a continuation. Um, so then we get to Eli Knight versus Sean Legacy. Obviously, Sean Legacy's been one of the standouts in of him and him and Jackson Drake have been figured what this past year over there for of title. You have Eli Knight who's been a standout of um, who's been a standout of reality of the so and you see Ricky Saints out on commentary again and he really he talks up Eli Knight he mentions his own appearances in reality of wrestling and it just reinforces Curtis and promotion reality of wrestling and as a direct feeder for the IDE program and for NXT. You have some independent stars, so there now you have Alex or Asia or So for them, I would say, so yeah, that's the background of Eli. Now, I am not a fan of the name. It's, I think it'll be confusing for some fans because you did hear the chants echo in the arena. And yeah, I think it's too similar to the Elwyn so I'm not really too fussed about the name. That's not enough on him. He is very talented, but at the same point, the name I don't think will do him any favours. I suppose it's a good back and forth match up. Obviously, Sean's obviously, Sean says or he hits like a neck breaker type move and gets a free. He count very high for a in contest. I know from Archer could go on either way. Even the Ricky Saints and commentary is appalled about what happens next. Tony D'Angelo takes out um takes out Sean Legacy and Eli Knight. It will leads to him getting arrested on by by uniformed police officers. Like car's not decked out and um the car's not die the car's not decked out and how uh, he's the jury it's like a well, so yeah um so yeah, I have a area that is though because of Aki Saints now is positioned as one of the top heels in the company because he's been because Tony D'Angelo's been taken out the competitor also the tournament including the one and also the matches and the Ricky Saints has been fired into the championship but I done I have a feeling that Ricky Saints has been has been paying Tony D'Angelo as like a now a shot to take out the rest of the to take out the rest of the competitors. I really do think that because I really do think that, but because if you think about it, it took out Joe Hendry last week, and he took out, one Enox as well. So he's just been taken out direct threats to, um, he's been taken out direct, or to the Saints. So yeah, that could be something in the pipeline. Yeah, you get a segment. Um, yeah, so the next match on the card, and guys is right, bright versus Cheshire. The very competitive match again. So right, bright get a victory over so right get a victory over the new chase Samantha our feelings with obviously um accent rake it with inside Evans Oaks and Paradadby Ale Arlo and yes it is Bale. I'm not to be confused with but Al are already similar aims and evolve. Something has to um change on that, but yeah, decent enough. Actually, and I tuned into the old first, so I Pride had about 6 million us obviously say this Dean is family in the AEW system. She was the very first ID talent that was unattracted through that program. She rejected that offer to extend. You also got Rice Donovan that rejected his contract. He was up again for us. So yeah, this is what's after so bright and they do look impressive. It's just some of the names of this evolved to haven't been too similar or too established talent. I think it'll confuse. I think it'll confuse casual viewers um who's a major who's a major target for WWE viewership, and you want to entice casual viewers to become hardcore because that's how the SO gets back to heights again. But yeah, a decent enough match, and it's later on revealed that Jackson Jerry from some eight's opponent is obviously Joe O'Hendry. Um, um, Joe O'Hendry after some Hawk says his name and get kind of makes some on it, so bright or I how all each jocks with the kind of attractive girls, etc. That's the way they are kind of portrayed. Um, yeah, so yeah, so the other of girls, but also as Joe Hendry reason, and yeah, I know that so Joe's one to the accent Jerry Kelsey unit to eek, but back to the match itself for if Tracy Emma if Tracy for him, and this was on us this is on us and Dixon's best hatch and like a Hearts to as a tag team within the chase you but Harrell Uh, um, I, I think, um, I, I, I think this will be a six-man tag match of Avonjari, Chasenger, Axonger, Raking the future it gives to you a direct or a rival to feud on. Uh, and it's kind of a similar a mix of get the arcade well it's kind of a really good a mix for a feud. You've kind of got the academic side to it, just to and you've got the stereotypical line is kind of as cool. You options so eight bright and yeah, I think that'll be a good I think that'll be an interesting feud for so eight bright on the next hero or and then the main event guys are could 58 who influencing UCC to become and to become ENA Knockouts Tag Championships and go on to face the L against Borough and on AMC's ENA Impact. You've got the L against Borough and um 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 Irvin guys what in the arena um as their presented if he's in the crowd and he works on a very good match could have and either all three he teams got some good offense in but um it ends up fouling Henry. He takes the F5 from the area. It's all chaos and a inside bodies for lying everywhere and kill ordinary inside kill. You're taking out the ACG in who attempts to enter off the ER and the Arca taken advantage of the chaos the area the area F house for owl and Zaruka on the tag. So all actually was in for a hug as the area reluctant on accepts and I think we'll get the heel on the eventually we could get it as early as us ice cause of the so yeah, I think the early against but and they'll keep the knockouts tag championships. I think it's too early for another NXT for another NXT snap full of it any Elkjupsta got Channing Staxel Lorenzo with the ENA International Championship and it's not ever any of the different ENA and in the NXT Championship it kind of makes it a bit unsafe. And I hope that changes this year because it's starting to get a bit lopsided in terms of the whole crossover. But anyway, I sort of anyway, I shall give this an 8 out of 10. A bit better on the neural. I gave that a 7, but yeah, interesting and interesting and developments, etc. And very solid, of very solid action and character development. But I'll see you over very soon for the next video. I'm not sure, and that'll be our what topic it'll be. But yeah, um, thanks for all your continued support, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you over very soon. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.